Welcome back here live on AdobeLive.com, live from the 99U conference in New York City. And for the next hours, I'm going to be here with Jules Tardy, who is an immigrant to New York.
Sort of,
from Paris all the way to New York. And we're going to discover his work and see all of the cool designs he does. We're also going to have the second half of the hour. We're going to be doing 2 portfolio reviews, portfolios that have been submitted to us over the past few weeks, using that handy little button that you see below in the AdobeLive.com user interface. So if you want, in future events, if you want your portfolios to be looked at by our incredibly talented guests, please press that button and tweet to us so that we can have a look at those portfolios. So basically 99U is an annual conference. It happens once a year, and this is the 9th year. Have you ever been at a 99U?
No, never. I heard about it.
But heard about it, okay.
No.
Basically, it's all about enabling creativity and yes, and people come here to be inspired and get new ideas and network and get their projects back on rails. And yes, and 99U is happening today and tomorrow, and we will be live here on AdobeLive.com today and tomorrow for about 8 hours a day.
Cool. That's impressive.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Jules, I'm going to move over here to your website. I know you've also prepared some slides that you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I just wanted to share some of the process that goes into making some of these projects.
Okay.
So first of all, thank you for having me. That's great. I haven't done any of those things yet, so yeah, it's nice. It's nice to share my work.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about you first before we look at your work. Like, how did you end up in New York of all cities?
Yeah, of all cities. So I'm from Paris, but I grew up in London for about 10 years and decided to move to New York to go to school, actually. So I did my MFA in design at the School of Visual Arts, where I met a lot of amazing teachers. Actually, I'm working for one of my former teacher now, and I got a job right after school at Mother, where I stayed about 4 years, and now, I've been here for about 8 years now.
8 years?
Yeah. So hopefully I can stay.
Do you miss Europe?
I do a little bit. I miss good cheese and.
Yes, and hopefully you can stay. Okay, I get it.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
So many people always ask, whether it's worth it doing a design school or not. Some people are self-taught, some people go to school, and Jules, you just mentioned the very important part of going to a school is meeting, great teachers.
Yeah.
Hopefully, and that's that good schools usually typically have good teachers. That's what that's why people go there. And also for networking and getting ready for like I was employed by my school right away as well. I went to the art center.
Okay, cool.
And when I graduated, the art center hired me to do their corporate image.
That's amazing. Yeah.
So that was go to school is a very good way to start up your career and get started.
Yeah, for sure.
So great. So shall we move to your slides?
Sure. Yeah. So that's my.
That's your what you want to.
That's my website here.
Shit, sorry.
It's fine. Don't worry. Well, you can see it's kind of an overview of my work, and I just wanted to talk to a few specific projects that I've been doing this past few years. So the first one is, let me get it, is the Zaha Hadid project that I worked on. We started this about 3 years ago. For Zaha Hadid, she passed away last year, but she was sort of an iconic figure in the architectural world. To be fair, I didn't quite know she was before starting the project, but she's done an amazing body of work. And she was getting her first building in New York, and that's actually her last week on the Google on the Google thing. So it was a sign of recognition, I guess. That's sort of the work that she did in the past, and she hadn't done any residential work. So we were sort of asked to design the identity and the sales experience of her first building in New York, which is a residential building. So that's some of the interior shots. So it's kind of a tricky assignment because you have to sell something that doesn't exist yet, and you have to make it into a tangible experience for people to agree to sign a check for many millions. I mean, you're
Yes.
talking about the penthouse, I think, went for $40 million. So how do you get people to sort of envision themselves in the space and living there in the future? So this is sort of the list of all the stuff that we had to do. So of course the identity was the first thing, and then the teaser site, the stationery suite, we had 2 books, floor plans, packaging, a full website, and then the sales gallery where potential clients came in and had the full sort of experience of looking at what it meant to live in a Zaha Hadid building. And we were very much inspired by her paper sculpture that she does when she starts working on a project to study lights. And one of the goals of the project was to counterbalance the sort of futurism side of her building and make it feel more sort of livable in a sense. So people didn't feel like they were going to buy a place in a spaceship, but had a sort of a tactile and a warmth to it.
These are incredible.
Yeah, they're amazing, and we actually did sort of the teaser site based on this one, and she has done many more. But it was such a nice sort of way in at looking at her work without being sort of mimicking what she did architecturally and being sometimes kind of sort of epic and sometimes cold. So this is some of the inspiration that we looked at. The building was in. Well, it's actually done now. It's in the Gallery District on 28th Street and Chelsea. So we wanted to align it to sort of the gallery-like aesthetic, and also sort of high fashion, the kind of products that those sort of super wealthy people are used to have and understand. So this is kind of the world that we wanted to live in, and the identity was based kind of simply on the left you have all the gallery, on the right like all the fashion brands. The identity doesn't say too much. It doesn't try to capture everything in a logo, but it's how it sort of comes to life and how you apply the whole sort of look and feel to all the teaser side, the relationship it has to the book cover, and everything sort of speaks on the same level. But
it's weird to see how the big brands have the less distinctive typography in the end.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's very,
exactly.
It's very simple. Very.
It's more in the application and how it comes to life. So this is the identity, and then I can show you how the project ended up. So I worked on this project when I was at Mother Design, and I worked with Christian, who was the design director on the project, and I was the senior designer on it, and the whole project was about a year and a half. So actually the vision for the project, the inspiration and stuff, people agreed to it fairly soon, but then the sort of the tricky bit is how you get people to stay on track for such a long time, especially when we had Related, which is the main client, the people actually owning and building the building, and sort of the marketing team, Zaha's team, our partners. So there's a lot of people involved to make this happen. So this is rare that the projects sort of stay on track. You always have to be adaptive, but this is sort of an example where we achieved to stay quite close to our vision. So this is the building on 28th Street, renderings. We created this map, again with this sort of same techniques with paper. And this is the sales gallery where you had sort of a retrospective of her work here, and as you enter the main space, there was an immersive experience to show you what it meant like to be in this building. So you see a lot of white on white sort of gestures that's happening there. So that's all the sales gallery, and this is part of the little film that was in that space that we helped design with Hush. And so again, that sort of similar design language came to life in a different 3D animated immersive kind of experience. And there was a touch table. There was so many things we had to do with it for this one, and it was really great to impact all those different touch points. So it was a massive touch table that where you could look at all the features of the building. That's the teaser site that I was mentioning. So as people scroll down, you saw the light source kind of change, which was a kind of a challenge to do, but it was really interesting. And the full website, where you had sort of a more in-depth look at the neighborhood. And this is the overview of all the printed collateral. And one of my favorite parts of the project was to do this book. It was an artist monograph of all of her past work. And yeah, we only made 2,000 copies of it. And
where do you print stuff from New York?
so actually this one we printed in New Jersey. So yeah.
Because when I used to work here in New York, we used to do that for like high-end galleries.
Yeah.
We used to send it to Italy or Switzerland.
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
printed.
There's some great stuff there as well. But it was nice to be local. So
Yeah.
I spent days on press in New Jersey and sort of working with the guys there to get the best sort of result possible. We mixed paper stocks and yeah, it was a big job. So more collateral. That's the sale brochure. We had all the individual floor plans printed with a unique number on it. So everything had to feel like it was a unique piece.
Is everything sold now?
I'm not sure. Yeah. I'm not getting a cut of it, unfortunately, but I think that they're doing well. Yeah, and that's it. That's the whole project.
Let's just press the like button.
Press the like button.
Like this,
sure.
it's signed in as me,
Sure.
so.
All right, cool. So yeah, and actually Christian design director carried on working with her and her team afterwards because she liked our work so much that she wanted to rebrand her architectural practice. So it was kind of a nice continuation of that project. So that was a big,
Huge one,
yeah,
yes.
a big project in terms of hours put into it, and it's such a rare opportunity to be close to those icons, you know. Yeah, that was one of the last projects that I did at Mother. And then I can show you like kind of a smaller project in terms of timeline. This is and it's very different. I don't like to do the same thing twice. So this is Archer Farms. It's a packaging project, and I hadn't done packaging before. It was to redesign the coffee inside Target. Target is a big retailer, supermarket here in the US. And that's what the coffee looked like before we started working on it. So fairly minimal, not much place to tell the story. And as they wanted to tell, as they're getting better product, they were getting fair trade and more direct trade product. So as they were getting better product, they wanted to tell a more compelling story.
What a weird series, like all of them without image and just one with an image.
Yeah, exactly. It was. I mean, they did what they could because they couldn't print on all the bags. So it was a nice moment for them to reset the brand and relaunch. So we helped them with this. That's sort of one of the first things that you get when you start working on a project is a comprehensive list of all the stuff that we have to think about. It was about over 90 different packaging.
Wow.
And we had a super short timeline. Just the design phase for us was about November to February, and then the internal team at Target, the design team, sort of were working with us and were the one that actually made the file ready for print and worked with the illustrators further down the line to sort of get into production and getting in store. So one of the challenges was knowing the timeline. We had to come up with a system that could allocate organizing all that information in a sort of a way that made sense and allowing different people to come in because we didn't have the time to give it to just one illustrator. We had there had to be many hands touching this. So we created with the team at Collins a very simple architectural for the top of the bag, which is the kind of thing that you see on shelf because sometimes you have price tag and stuff that's hiding the bottom. So really simple organization technique, like information design, where you could organize all the different piece of sort of qualities of the coffee. So we had the white label and the black label was for the fair trade and direct trade, so people could already tell sort of a quality tier of the product. So going from ground coffee to whole bean and the different roast. And then once we had the architecture and the structure of it, we had the bottom part to fill. So we asked some of our favorite illustrators to come in, give them general directions, and then they work with the team at Target to make those come to life. And this was Adrian Johnson out of
Florence.
the UK. Yeah, there you go. It's a Italian roast. And then that was Tom Hogamat, a French illustrator, that was doing the fair trade. So he was doing sort of full landscape, more picturesque illustrations. And I can show you how it all came together. So this is the case study that we put up on our website a few months back. So you see the black labels, and how it all came together with illustrations. That's Tom's work, as well, some icon work that we did to clearly sort of show the different roasts, the white labels, with Adrian's work. And there was other stuff than bags. There was boxes as well. There was a lot of different media that we had to think about. And yeah, that's how
Beautiful.
it came out. So very different from Zaha, this one.
Yes.
Much more color and definitely a shorter time frame. So that's the one, and then I can show you this one. It was done for the same client at Target. It was a collaboration between Target and Dwell magazine, the interior design magazine. So they were doing a line of home furniture, and we helped them kind of a similar process to the branding and the art direction for the shoot and how they were display the product.
Thomas says, wonderful illustrations. Very clean and straight work. I love it.
Thanks.
Thomas is a longtime follower of the Adobe Live
cool.
channel.
Nice.
Yes.
Hi, Thomas. So yeah, this is again very different from the two other ones. We worked with the team here to kind of give a more like a warmer side to modern design and make it feel accessible. Because sometimes when you want to buy modern furniture design, you have sort of IKEA that's kind of a cheap end, and then you go up really fast to the Vitra and the really expensive stuff. So the Target collection is fairly accessible, and that's what I like working on some of this project, is knowing that when I go shopping to get like cereals or stuff, I see my work in the store, which is very nice to see it live beyond just the internet. So
It's a good feeling.
yeah, it doesn't happen often enough, but when it does, it makes all the work worthwhile, for sure. And again, kind of a overview of what the line ended up looking like. Yeah. And then I can show you a personal project. So I like to, and actually I can show you some of the process for this. In between client work, I also like to do stuff that just I can get out my system quite fast. So this is an illustration project. I actually started as an assignment. This was a poster I did for Steppenwolf Theatre in Chicago. I had an afternoon to do it before going on vacation, so I just took paper and started doing an illustration with red paper. This was another sketch for the project, and I kind of liked that process. So I started to do a lot more with red paper and trying to see what forms and what kind of illustration I could create. And I did this last year. I had to stay in a hospital for a little bit, and I got really bored. So I started doing those there. And I can show you how it all sort of turned out. So this is just done with cut paper. Nothing is glued. It's just put on top of one paper on top of the other.
So it doesn't last.
No, and they're all like put in an envelope after I'm done.
Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of painful to do. I don't know if I'm going to do more. But it was a nice, at that time, it was a nice way out to do something creative and being able to post and share it fairly quickly compared to client work that lasts, from like 6 months to a year sometimes. Yeah.
So yeah, somebody's asking, what's your Behance address? Because now we've gone in.
It's just my name's Jules Tardy,
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah. So the next project I can show you is another big one, a hotel project. And this one was for sort of to sort of put it quickly, is kind of a green, eco-conscious hotels, and the big chain that wanted to do better and be more conscious of its environment, both on a sort of pollution and responsible level, but also of its like cultural and context. So it was called it's called One Hotel, and that just they launched the first one in Miami 3 years ago, and now they have two in New York, one in Midtown on 59th Street, and the other one is in Brooklyn Bridge Park. So the idea was very simple. It was to say that everyone is different, so we created this flexible identity that the logo changed, and it was influenced by its location, so Central Park, South Beach by the sea line, and Brooklyn Bridge Park by the architecture of the bridge. It's really right, it's right there. So the system flexes, and this is some of the shots of the hotel and all the assets that we give to a client. So when this work, we come in maybe a year before it actually opens, or 1 year or 2 years before we open. So we give them all the tools and a brand book and what they stand for and how they should communicate. And we give this to the internal team, and then we sort of take a step back and see it come to life a few years later. So this is some spreads from the brand book. We also did all this photography with Ben Pogue, all the still life photography around nature, and that was their take on photography and how they were sort of developing a voice with that tool. So that's some of the work there. Like the feathers for the do not disturb sign. So it's all based and inspired by nature. And this one is still life for Central Park. And this is some of the shots of the hotel in Central Park on 59th Street.
Yeah, Jeremy says these logos for the hotel are amazing, different yet clearly the same.
Yep. Yeah, and this is sort of a comp for the website. So yeah, that's another big project. It lasted about a year or so, and some of this is a good example. This book was about sort of giving every detail possible to make a brand. Give this to an internal brand team, and everyone understanding what they stand for and how they should communicate. So yeah.
So of course, when you have these long projects, of course, the projects overlap, right? So
yeah.
How many projects do you typically?
Well, it's a bit different now because One Hotels and Zaha are a little bit older, so I was senior designer then. Now I obviously a little bit more projects, but it depends. I mean, I'm lucky enough to never have more than 3 projects at once. It's not the case for everyone at all times, but we try to keep it sort of in that realm. And then maybe I can show you the collective design one. I'll show you actually have some of that process that I talked about. Collective design, that's what they looked like when they came to Mother for us to redesign their fair. So this was a very small project that I was kind of doing a logo, but giving them as well the tool for their small team to be able to implement it and change how they looked. They actually have an amazing curatorial point of view. They're in their 4th year, I think now. So the old identity didn't really match sort of the avant-garde sort of conversation that they wanted to have around design. So we redesigned the logo. It's not a huge shift. It's kind of similar. We kept the serif typeface, just crafted a little bit better and kept the color, but we gave them a lot more tools to be able to create communication. So we gave them a more extensive color palette. We gave them a pattern language. And that way they don't have to rely on hard to license images and stuff to create things fast internally. So this is some of the spreads of the guidelines that we give. We just don't give a logo, we just give a sort of a comprehensive document that helps them articulate their brand. So we had a more expressive typographic language. color palette, and then this pattern language was for a way for them to sort of create nice visuals based on this idea of collective, super fast, and sort of be able to change it year after year. So we give them a bunch of examples, and every year now they come up with a new pattern language.
They do it themselves now?
Yeah. They do all this.
And you're still happy as a designer with what they do?
No, I haven't been able to go this year, unfortunately, but last year I went, and yeah, it's amazing. It's so rewarding seeing what you do for a few months, 1 year or 2 years down the line, and even though you're not the one that actually made it, you had a sort of a little bit of a say in it, and that's very rewarding. I mean, it might change in a couple of years, but when that happens, it's nice. So
when management changes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a small team, but things change. It's good. The more people change, the more work we have. So that's good for us. So we gave them layout ideas and stuff, and they're able. I'll show you how it all came together. I mean, we did a few things for them as well, like a few printed pieces. But this is how it all came together. So stationery signage, where the colors come to play, and this is some of the pictures of the fair, where you see that this great Memphis stand, so super colorful and kind of out there furniture design that they were putting on display. That's some of the VIP invite that we did with all the patterns connecting. That's a save the dates that we printed.
With the pattern in the back.
Yeah. Some posters, even down to the tags. A tote bag, of course, because there wouldn't be a presentation without a tote bag in it. And the website. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome that like with guidance, then they continue by themselves and maintain.
And that's the tricky part, understanding what their limitations are in terms of resources and what kind of their needs are in terms of how fast they want to create assets. So once you have a better idea of this, it gets a little bit easier to not only design stuff but also sell them ideas because you have a better understanding of what they need. And then I can maybe show one last one or a couple more. Yeah. This is not a project. It's just more personal exploration that I do on the side, and I don't do enough of this. But I like doing illustration work, not being tied into a brief or a general project. Some of those are just posters for a band, but most of it's me trying to go back to the work that I was doing when I was younger, just illustrating comic books and stuff. And I really enjoy doing it. I'm a very slow illustrator, so it takes me forever to do these, and I can't work under pressure, so that's my own little kind of thing.
This is something that comes up over and over in these live streams, is the importance of personal projects.
Yeah.
To really to do the things you really enjoy doing, and and really give yourself some time to pursue these personal projects because they're important.
Yeah, exactly, and it's also the kind of work that you want to be doing. You may not get it at first because clients just don't see it in your book, so you have to be able to sort of build those skills on your own, and eventually I've had a few requests for illustration, so maybe something will happen with it, but I'm also happy to just do sort of experimentation on this side. So that's kind of an overview. I can show you. I can show you maybe one last project, and this is actually, when you talk to personal project, that's another example.
Okay.
And it was just giving myself an assignment. What would a rebrand of this festival look like? So I did this about 2 years, a year and a half ago. So again, just wanting to get stuff out of my system, and doing poster design where I was kind of stuck at the end of a project, and I felt like I wasn't doing enough. Just a way to get some of your ideas out. So also trying to do different things, going from a colorful project to a more black and white one that feels like young and more poppy to a more sort of refined direction.
So in this case, what is it that you were researching? What was your goal?
My goal was just I wanted to get some. Yeah, I guess I was towards the end of a project, and I felt like I hadn't done enough in the past few months. And I remember seeing images of the festival. So this is Drake's festival, and in Toronto, and it felt really sort of undesigned and considered. So I felt this was sort of a good assignment. What it would be if I were to take on this task, and also the kind of work I want to be doing. I want to do more festivals. I want to do more cultural events. So just very fast. I mean, I didn't spend too much on this one. Just showing how I could my interpretation of it.
Cool.
Basically. So yeah, that's kind of an overview. Hopefully I'll update my Behance with some new work soon.
So you mentioned that these personal projects also are things that you may want to do one day, or that you know it's useful for potential customers to see what you're also able to do, even though they don't ask you for it because they haven't seen it. You know, like.
Yeah, I mean that's mostly true for the illustration, but yeah, as I said, it's also sort of working with your hands, being away from the computer, and the beginning of the project is where all the mess happens, where you have so many possibilities, and it's very stressful, but it's a lot of excitement that gets in the beginning of the project. And then your sort of role is to keep the project on track and make sure that you're responsive to new challenges that arise, but there's less of that sort of heavily making bit to it. So it's to compensate this.
Hey, why don't we look at these two portfolios that were selected by Michael Shays for us to review and for you to review, Jules?
Sure.
I think it's going to start with Barbara Zivert, Yaragua do Sul, Brazil. Okay. Hello, Brazil.
Hi, Brazil.
And Barbara, if you are in the chat, please say hi. And if you have any questions for Jules, put them right here. Everybody has been alerted that the time and date and everything. So I hope Baba is in the chat here and can say hi. Anyway, have you had a chance to look at them before you came?
Yeah, briefly, yeah, for sure.
I don't know. So typically, what I ask the guests to do is to select the project that piqued their interest, and then we can discuss those. If there's anything that is specifically that you've seen on that page, let's see. It's quite a few projects. Okay.
Yeah, I remember seeing the collage one that I thought was quite good. I mean, as you've seen, I love to do collage as well. So I always enjoy sort of looking at these. And so I think she did the illustrations for it, I believe. So I think, some of them are great. My one advice I would have is more in the presentation of it, making sure that there's a little bit of a structure, because collage by themselves, they're very rich, the one that she does. And on top of it, they've put in a very sort of rich layout system where you have sort of a background on the side for bleed images, others that are centered. So I'll be curious to see what this looks like if they're sort of a little bit more constrained in the way they're shown, so you can really appreciate the details of them. And really how you display your project is so important, especially on Behance. People go through those things fairly fast, and it's just the way that we all are used to consume visuals now online. You just scroll down really fast. So you may want to sort of simplify it a little bit for people. But
I like some of the transitions, like the underlying photo that with the layout on top of it.
I think you have to pick your moments.
Yes.
Where you do that. If it's overly done, then it may sort of become a little bit too much. But yeah, those are nice when they come in more sort of purposefully.
And
throughout
that's
the project. And that's the main thing.
it's a revista that says super interessante.
That's a great title.
I wonder if that's an actual magazine. Hey, people from Brazil, is that a magazine in Brazil? Super interessante. It wouldn't surprise me.
It's a great title.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, weird. Nice collage. Yeah. Yes, and
Yeah, I don't understand much of the context
No,
of
me
it. My
neither.
Portuguese is pretty bad.
it's
I don't know if you can help.
no. Well, I no. That's the thing with the explanation is I always invite people like when posting on Behance to put in as much textual information into it as well, like to explain what's going on, because otherwise people like me or Jules will just jump to our own conclusions, you know, like right, and decide, this is probably why this happened, or this is probably why she did this. So in the case of Behance, I always suggest, you know, to put more information about, you know, why certain things were done, what a specific image represents, to give people more information. Because, like you said, you spend, it's like you go through these very quickly, and like I said, like when there's more information to look at, it's easier for a potential customer or agency to actually understand the thought process instead of just seeing the work.
Yeah. Cool.
So that's one cool project. Barbara?
Is she here?
Can't see Baba yet? Nope.
The other one, maybe this one. So I think it was a branding project, and I thought some of the illustration and pattern were quite nice. And actually, for this one, I wanted to see more. You know, I think that's
a good point.
When you get to work on a branding project, there's so many touch points now that I'm curious to see what the website would look like, and I'm curious to see what a white posting, a print campaign would look like. And to be fair, I mean, at some point, those don't need to be real if you don't have them in your scope. You can still show how you would have tackled it if you were to do it. And I think that's really important to show sort of the breadth of an idea and how you take that pattern language and how that translate into an animation potentially. And just, I thought for this one it would be nice to see more. That's also a thing I know on Behance, like the more of a breadth of a project you show, the more likely it is to get sort of appreciated, shared, and all that stuff, Cool. Is she here yet? No?
No.
I can see this one, maybe?
That's the same brand as before, Aragania.
Oh yeah, the street food, yeah. Is it?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, cool. Nice.
Yeah, the little bicycles. See?
Oh cool, yeah. So that's another side of the project. That's nice. Yeah, I mean, given the breadth of this work, it would definitely sort of be worthwhile showing more of a sort of overview of the entire project into one
like more applications.
Stream. Yeah, because some of this stuff are quite nice.
Yeah, especially in these days where, even like street food now has an app that goes with it, you know, like.
Yeah, and it's not
really, but like to have some sort of a digital experience added to it.
And also how you document it is also fun, like the way if you do a website or mobile app, the way you actually show it on your portfolio just by getting a picture of an iPhone, the art direction of the shoot itself. It goes a long way from seeing, for instance, the coffee project that I did, where it's just if I was to take pictures of it on shelf, it wouldn't be as exciting as sort of a real case study where we art direct it with like little props around it. That's also a way to show your skills. I think there's definitely potential to do that here for sure.
Cool. See if there's another
Yeah, maybe we can do this one. Probably. Yeah, and I think as you mentioned, getting a little bit of the context.
Yes, because we don't know
really
we don't know what Trouty is. We have no idea.
Yeah.
So that's probably the price tag.
I mean, I'm guessing it's for organic product. So, yeah, giving a little bit more context, and it can be text or it can be just looking at it next to the things that those label are attached to. I'm not sure if it's a sort of produce store or a clothing store. So getting a little bit more context of what it is would be really helpful. Yeah, I mean some of those icon illustrations are quite nice in the colors as well.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's in the title. Horta
maybe my Portuguese is just very bad and I don't understand anything. Yeah. Cool. And then. That's weird.
Oh, that's
that's kind of a stomper, but that's actually quite nice.
Because it makes you think, oh, what's happening there?
Yeah.
It means poor Tom.
Yeah, that's really nice. And one thing I would say is try to consider how you shoot the work, like the vinyl. It can seem a little bit overly photoshopped, and not real enough. It's nice to see it like feeling tangible. And again, it's a way that you can flex your art direction skills and put down display, even though it was not fully part of the project. But I thought this one was nice as well. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I agree. Like when you show stuff on a product, these shadows just, it's not real.
Yeah, and there's a balance to it. You either do it completely flat, or you actually do it for real. The in between is
it's
really
like
weird.
dangerous because now we have this like side shadow here. It's like on the table, or is it standing with these shadows? Yeah.
And sometimes people don't do it because they don't actually have the thing printed, and it's. Well, you can compare. You can use another one, shoot another vinyl, and place your artwork on top of it and do it nicely.
Even in our applications, there's the little market thing in the Creative Cloud thing here. Have you ever checked that out? I'm gonna plug that now. Assets, I think it's here. Market, yeah. And then maybe if I say, let's look for.
I've never looked at it.
Record. Let's see if we have records. Okay. Do we have some for placement? Here we have some for placements. Okay, so basically, this is a real photo, and then basically it's a Photoshop file, and all you need to do is to replace this with this, and you have it. You know.
I had no idea this was in.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, huh? Yeah.
Nice.
All right, let's have a look at the second portfolio from Leon van den Orde. So that sounds like a Dutch name, but it's from what's VA? What's the
VA? I don't know. I haven't been here long enough, man. I just stay in New York.
Yeah, it's Virginia. I think.
Virginia?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
So Lyon. Yeah, let's say the French way. Let's look at this. So that's a magazine redesign, and that's actually a really good exercise to get something that already exists, where you have all the content, and try to have a new take on it. So,
especially with a magazine like Wired, where typically you don't associate like a lack of design. With so it makes it even more difficult.
Yeah, and I think there's potential. There's one really easy fix for this one, and it's more of a tactical one. The way magazines are shelved in bookstores, they're one against back to back to each other, and sometimes you have a magazine in front of it covering sort of bottom part of the magazine. So if you have the titles in the lower half of the magazine, like you have here, that would get hidden on shelf. So you have to think about what's your sort of shelf presence and how to get that impact and instantly recognized. So that's a very easy fix. It's just switching your hierarchy and putting the title that always goes on top.
There's a reason why titles are here.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And even though I like the thought of like flipping it upside down, they'll need to, if you do that, there'll need to be some pretty consistent and probably bolder statement on top of it so that people recognize it. So yeah, that's kind of an easy fix. But I like the grid system and how the potential it has to organize all the content. And again, I think it's worth doing more. It's worth doing different issues of the same magazine, so you see how it flexes month to month. And that's a really easy and sort of important exercise when you don't have clients. Make yourself a brief, and it's really nice to see the comparison of before where they are right now to your proposal.
Oh, talking about that, do you write yourself a brief when you do personal projects?
Rarely. Yeah, I try not to because it's kind of a sort of a step away from the client work that I do. But when you're a student or earlier on, yeah, for sure. I think it's really important to know where you want to, like why you think Wired should deserve a redesign. What do you think they're not doing well? What do you think you can improve? So yeah. And then I remember seeing this. I think it was kind of interesting seeing how you can get really micro on the gun and get those abstract moments. It's kind of highlighting the beauty of the object until it unfolds and you realize what it is. I think conceptually makes it's a nice way to approach this. I think the 3D needs a little bit of work, but that's just time and it demands repetition.
Rendering issue,
But sort of even the editing to the final shot, I think was quite powerful. You can imagine this as like a film title sequence. It would be quite nice.
What other images did he show down there? Oh, it's just him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, get a little bit more context on the projects really help.
Like right now, I just don't get it. What is it for? I just see that it is motion graphics, visual effects, cinematography, and I see a couple of pictures with text, but I have no idea what's happening in here. And so yeah, context.
Yeah, for sure. And then the other thing I would say, I was browsing through the profile.
It's a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of stuff, and it's really important to edit and show your best projects. And your best projects should be curated and selected based on what you want to do.
Yes.
Especially online. You can, for different clients, you can adapt your portfolio to show more of a certain specific kind of work. But online, you need to edit yourself, show only the best of the best, and show the ones that you want to do more of, or the ones that you're really excited.
Because if you put in work that you didn't enjoy doing or that you're not sure about, there might be somebody who really likes it, and they're going to ask you to do it, and you go, oh no, not again.
Exactly, and then you're stuck with it. So yeah, that's really important, editing yourself. Then maybe we can do the last one.
This project had quite a few views.
Which one?
This one here, like more than any other
cool.
project.
That's from 2014. Yeah, you're right.
This looks like it was for a real conference in Amsterdam.
I mean, some of the motion is quite nicely done. It's funny, I haven't seen this kind of typefaces for a while. They're the super technical ones. It looks very sort of 90s. the Designers Republic, like all that area. Yeah, that's funny seeing it again. And the nice thing about this one is you get a little bit more of an overview and a sense of what it is about, and seeing all the different touch points from the badge to the t-shirt, and how it translates sort of differently based on what application it's at. Also seeing the kit of parts is nice. Having sort of the colors, the patterns, and showing how the elements that you use to come up to brand identity.
Yep. Again, a little bit more explanation would help a lot.
And that would be nice to have sort of an outside signage showing the exterior of the conference. And even if it couldn't be captured, just fake it. It's fine. Every designers do at some point.
There's even that app now that you can link your Photoshop and Illustrator files to, and that puts it into context. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, exactly. That's actually really easy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no excuses.
No excuses. Like even on packaging and stuff like that, they do that.
Yeah, let me see the packaging one.
This one?
Yeah.
H2 now.
Yeah. So I thought this one was a weird take on water packaging. I'm guessing, because it was actually denouncing sort of the the competitors' juice, which was a weird take on it.
Boo juice.
Yeah.
Water for the win.
It's always I think it's always better to highlight the benefits of the product that you're trying to sell rather than talk about the competition. So
that's a marketing issue. Yes.
Yeah, it's a marketing issue, but it's all the stuff that we have to recognize as designers. Well, our job is to celebrate the product that we want to help sell. But that being said, having a big statement as part of your branding being the most present thing rather than having a big logo, I think is an interesting sort of way to flip
also
it
because I
down.
think as designers and communicators, we have like almost a civil duty to do right.
Yeah.
And I think even on packaging or things that we might not think about, we have the opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. No, for sure.
All right, Lyon. And Jules, what can I say? What's your next big project? Or what are you working on currently?
I can't really say, but it's good.
I know.
We have
it's
some.
good. All right.
We have
That's
some
all I
big
want to know.
stuff. We have some
It's
big
good.
stuff. Yeah. No, I'm excited about next year. It's going to take some time. They all take time, but yeah, we have some really good stuff.
Awesome.
At Collins in general. So yeah.
Okie
really
dokie. And thank you for swinging by.
Yeah, thank you.
We're
Thanks,
live
everyone.
here on AdobeLive.com, live from the 99U conference here in New York City for another 2 hours today, and then again tomorrow for another 8 hours. And stay tuned now, because for our next guests, Elena Miska and Tom Sears are going to be joining us in just over 5 minutes. So stay tuned and stay right here on AdobeLive.com. The video will load automatically. Jules,
Cool.
thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
And,
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks, everyone.
Talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.